Jeffrey doesn't know how to focus. As soon as he sits down to work on his assignment that he's gotten from school, he can't focus. He starts thinking about women. He starts thinking about what he has to do in Call of Duty. He can't focus, and because of that, he gets super bad grades at school. And then he thinks to himself, oh, I'm just not good at studying, even though the problem is with his focus. But on the other side, we have Adonis, who is super focused and is super disciplined. He is a productive Chad. As soon as he sits down to work, he's super focused. He gets all his work done. He's super productive as he sits down to work, and because of that, he's super successful. I'm gonna tell you a story. I used to be just like Jeffrey. When I was 12 years old, I would literally sit down to work on the schoolwork that I've gotten. And like I would sit down to work, like imagine this. You're sitting down to work, you have the pen in your hand, and you start doing the homework. And it's been around 5 minutes since you started. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm progressing towards my goal, I'm about to complete my homework. But then you realize it's 5 minutes only, but you just keep going and keep going and keep going, and then you just quit because you can't focus. I used to literally lose my focus slowly, little by little by little. I used to literally start studying. Okay, I was studying, and I would start to think of random things. Like you probably would have experienced it too. Like imagine you start to think of things like women, what to do in the next match I have of Call of Duty, of what Cristiano Ronaldo is doing. I used to think all of these things. Although these things weren't important at that time, I was losing focus because of these things, but I still did it. Because I have noticed that many people, especially nowadays, don't know how to focus. And being focused in today's world is an important skill to have. It's an important skill to have to become more productive and become more disciplined and become more successful in life, to get those good grades, to get those $10,000 a month. You have to learn how to become focused. It's one of the core skills which you have to learn in order to succeed. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly everything you need to know in order to focus and get successful and get those good grades and make that $10,000 a month. But before that, I want to tell you about something else. By clicking the top link in the description down below, you can book a free call with me in which I will fix your productivity and discipline. And by clicking the second link in the description down below, you can subscribe to my daily email newsletter for more productivity insights just like this in your inbox every single day. So let's get straight to it. Number one, set an end timer. I used to sit down to study, and I would study for endless hours, 2, 3 hours, even though it wasn't focused studying. And yeah, I would lose track of time, but I didn't produce any quality work. The homework that I did was shitty as fuck. And yeah, you know what happened. I got bad grades. I failed in the exams because I didn't know how to focus. And one of the core things to focus is to know when to stop and when to stop studying and when to stop focusing, because your focus is limited. Science proves that you only have about a 20 to 30 minutes window to focus, and then you lose focus. Like 100% of your focus, you lose it in around 20 to 30 minutes. So it is ever more important to capitalize on that opportunity of focusing and making it valuable and making that time productive. So I'll give you an example for this. You sit down to study for your biology exam and you have to get done with one of the chapters, which is enzymes. So you sit down to study, and instead of endlessly studying for 2 to 3 hours like I did and you probably are doing currently, you rather set a timer either on your phone or just you look at the clock and randomly set a timer for around 20 to 30 minutes. And that will force your brain to focus. I'm literally telling you, it will force your brain to concentrate because it knows that it's running low on time. It's running low on time. It becomes like a competition, a race for your brain. And you're going to produce really high quality results by just setting an end timer. So don't forget to do that. Moving on, setting an end goal. When I was 12 years old, I again sat down to study. I remember this day vividly. I had all this feeling within me, yeah, today I'm going to be productive, today I'm going to actually focus. I'm going to finally get good grades because I'm going to have a really good study session. Like imagine this, you're super confident in your ability to focus, even though you're a fucking pussy and a weeb. But I still started to study. Hour passed, another hour passed, and I didn't get anything done. Do you know why? Do you know why I didn't get anything done, even though I knew that the study session was gonna be really good? Because I didn't have an end goal. I didn't know what to achieve. I was fucking dumb. I didn't know what to achieve. And many people are just like this. They sit down to study for endless hours, but they don't know what to get done. I've noticed many people doing this. So setting an end goal is super important because then you will be just studying and studying and studying like a fucking weeb, not knowing when to stop studying and to take a break. So when you combine an end timer and an end goal all together, you become an absolute focus monster, a productivity chad. Why? Because your brain is forced to get that goal done and get that goal done in a specific amount of time. That forces your brain to focus, it literally forces it to focus and concentrate on whatever it's doing. Because I see many people nowadays, they just randomly start studying and they don't know what to get done. That's fucking pussy shit. Who does that? Are you fucking blind? Do you not know how to think? Can't you think logically? Don't you have a brain to think that unless you don't have an end goal, you don't know when to stop. You're just constantly wasting hours of your life. Many people do this, and they're fucking hobos, they're fucking weaves, they're fucking pussies. They don't realize what they're doing. And many people are like this nowadays. They just subconsciously make bad decisions for themselves. And you don't want to end up just like them. That's why you're watching this video, to learn how to focus, to get better results in life. Moving on. Eliminating distractions. When I sit down to work, I was constantly distracted. I'm talking about like 2 to 3 months ago. So imagine this. I sit down to work, my PC is right in front of me, and I start typing on the keyboard. And I noticed that I kept getting distracted. My iPad was right beside me. It kept pinging me with notifications, which distracted me from focus. It broke my flow because I would be working on my business or something, and I would get a random notification from Instagram, and then I would open it, and then I would get stuck in the endless loop of Instagram. Many people have experienced this. You may have experienced this too. You sit down to work, you sit down to study, and then you can't. You can't focus. You can't concentrate on whatever you're doing because your phone keeps pinging you with notifications. You're distracted by the fly which keeps flying around you and disturbing you. And your mom and your family keeps coming in to tell you about the random things and to disturb you. You keep getting distracted by all these random things, and they are bad for your focus. These things will not lead you to become rich, because I've noticed what the rich do. They eliminate all distractions. They don't leave any room for them to get distracted. They eliminate all distractions. They literally stab them. They literally kill all distractions. And I want you to do the same too. And this is how you're going to do it. First of all, ask yourself, what things distract me? What things distract me when I sit down to work? Be conscious when you sit down to work the next time, and actually be artistic with it. Write down the thing which distracts you when you sit down to work. It can be your mom walking in to tell you that dinner is ready, or it can be that fly flying around you. It may also be your phone. Write it down so you know what distracts you. And the next step is eliminating it, eradicating it, stabbing it. And that is exactly how you are going to eliminate distractions. So identify the distractions and eliminate them right now if you want to get good results in whatever you are doing. Moving on. The fourth and last thing we're going to talk about in order to increase your focus is keeping everything you need with you, right beside you. I'll tell you another story. 2 to 3 months ago, I would sit down to work on my YouTube, and I wouldn't have something beside me. Like I wouldn't have my pen or my notebook right beside me. I wouldn't have my microphone right beside me. I wouldn't have my notebook right beside me. This probably happens to you too. And imagine this, I wouldn't have something beside me, so I had to literally get up from my space and I had to go to my shelf or something and get that thing. And when I sat down to work, I didn't have the motivation, I didn't have the focus, I didn't have the concentration to work. And this happens to many people, but they don't realize this because they're dumb. They don't know how to think. And you'll probably be one of them too. But you have to change. If you want to see better results in your life, you can't stay just like that. People are dumb nowadays. They don't realize what distracts them and what they need when they sit down to work. They just sit down to work because Iman Gaji told them to sit down to work. That doesn't work. You need to optimize your workspace for success, for not getting distracted. People are dumb nowadays, man. They don't even know what distracts them, and then they tell themselves that I can't succeed, I can't focus. They're fucking dumb. So how are you gonna keep everything right beside you? Again, ask yourself, what things do I need when I sit down to work? Maybe it's a pen, maybe it's a notebook, maybe it's even your phone. Whatever you need, keep it right beside you before you sit down to work so you're not constantly distracted. You're not constantly getting up from your chair in order to get something from a shelf or something. So do that right now. So those are the 4 things that you can do today in order to increase your focus. Set an end timer, set an end goal, eliminate distractions, and keep everything you need with you. Now I understand that life is going to be hard because things literally nowadays are programmed to not make you focus, and I understand you. I used to be just like that, but you have to put in the work, man. You have to put in the work someday. You're just losing your time. You have to fix your life. You have to finally improve today. There is no other time for you left to do this. Make the active decision to change your life, man. Nobody's coming to save you. You're your only savior. So save yourself, improve yourself, become productive, become disciplined. Because I believe in you. I believe in you that you can change your life forever. Click the first link in the description down below to book a free call with me, and click the second link in the description down below to subscribe to my email newsletter. Thank you for watching, and remember, action over words.